We go.
Let me tell you what you need tonight. A little something to whet your appetite, and it's gonna make you feel alright. Sweet Gravy and Carmen Kirk, check them out as they go to work. Congratulations on your new podcast. Now open up a can of whoop ass and blast, blast, blast. This is Angelo. And I hope you like this show. Wow. Yeah.
Ooh. Welcome back to another episode of Sweet Gravy. Carmen, you got my water just now.
I did.
Tell me, is it cold water?
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
You don't even know what I did for that water.
Why is that? Did you give yourself warm water?
No. Absolutely not.
There is a... Okay, so let's get to... I'm not a person who really cares about having cold water.
Yeah, I can't.
You are a
drink.
person who cannot have lukewarm water.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
It burns my throat.
Burns my throat.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have it. Gotta have it cold. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, ugh. And then you're like, there's cold water in the refrigerator. I'm like, I don't care about the cold water.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I got some cold water. And you know what? Ooh, it's kind of refreshing.
Well, what I did was I froze a cup of water.
A cup of water, and
so
then you...
it turned into a block of ice, and then I unthawed it a little bit, added water to it, got it cold with the ice, and then I had to do like 6 pours into that
Did
cup.
you ever think of maybe just taking like a little like light stream of like the tap water, right? Mm-hmm. And then having it brush up against the cup of ice?
I do sometimes. It depends on how I'm feeling.
The cold water like luges right down into it?
It depends.
Uh-huh.
It depends on how I'm feeling and how fast I'm trying to go.
Right.
It takes longer to do it from the outside versus just putting the cup under the water.
Mm-hmm.
I got strategies.
Okay.
I know how to get my water cold.
You know how to get the water cold.
Mm-hmm. So you're welcome. You got cold water today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. When I was in high school and playing football, they built this contraption that was you'd hook up a garden hose to this cooler that had ice in it, and inside the cooler was a bunch of piping that would go around all the ice. And then there are like little there are like 4 little dangly doos from the top, and you'd spray it and then you'd drink cold water. But if you weren't one of the first 4 people to get the water, you still had the baking hot water from the hose, from the garden hose, right? And it was just sitting there the whole time. Oh man. And you're like, oh. And of course I was a freshman at the time, and
You got the last.
yeah, all the seniors, they're like, yeah, you can't, you're not even practicing right now. They're like, you're on the sideline right now. What do you even need water for? You know, meanwhile it's Missouri, it's 100 degrees outside, and
Yeah.
the humidity is super hot, and
That teaches you shit, though. That teaches you. You wait your turn for success. You build it up and build some character. Then you get to cold water.
then you get the cold water. Yeah, just it's not my opportunity for the cold water yet.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the cold water yet.
I mean, but you don't care about the cold water anyway.
Yeah.
I would have had a really big problem with that. Like,
You'd be
no,
like,
fuck
I
that.
don't get the cold water.
No, I'd have been like, I'm getting cold water, so we're going to figure something else out.
Right.
I don't know. It's weird because I think that I feel like I am more, I won't say, yeah, maybe more entitled to certain things now that I'm older versus younger. Because I've worked for a while and I know some stuff. So when it comes to working with younger people or working with older people who think they know more, it's like, no, I've been putting in work.
I've been putting in the work.
But
old lady.
Yeah. But before that, when I was
that old
younger-
lady, she's like, she hasn't done the work yet. Thinking about you.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be doing that when I'm 60.
You don't know.
You fucked up. Oh, I guarantee it. Nope. Kirk is always prostitution.
Okay.
Or, I don't know, people do all type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was younger, yeah, I put in the work, and I was a person who ate last, and I did the most work, and I had to run around and get things for people. Now, no. Now other people get my cold water.
Mm-hmm.
That's so ridiculous to say.
It is. Especially since we just recently had a conversation, and then you were like, "I'm turning into the person that
I know."
you basically just told me the opposite of what you just told me
But
now.
at the same time, like, how do you teach like new people coming into the industry? Like, you can't give them everything. You have to haze them a little bit and like give them a little bit of that shit. You're just gonna let them just like smooth ride to the top, and you struggled the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why should I have the patience to do that when I didn't get that?
See, it's a continuingly cycle.
It is.
We were watching Cruella the other day.
Yeah.
Based off of Cruella Deville.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically, the movie is this girl. She wants to become a fashion designer, and her friends get her a job cleaning the bathrooms of a fashion store, like one of the big stores in like London or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she breaks into the spoiler alert. And then she breaks into a window display, and she does a really good display. And then this like fashionista lady, she's like, who made that display? And then they find out that it's her, and then she basically gets like a job designing clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time you're watching the movie, the woman's really mean to her. She's like, "Oh, this," but she's actually kind of nice to her.
She's teaching her.
She's teaching her.
She's taking her under her wing.
Right, under the wing, and she's like, "But my cucumbers must be very, very thin, and toss my salad, with capers,
Yeah.
right?" And then she starts to become Cruella, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's treating the people that got her the job at the beginning like her underlings.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's becoming
because
the mean lady. See, that's exactly what you're talking about, though.
It's a little similar.
You're saying you have to haze those people. You have to do it, right?
No.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
It is a vicious cycle. But at the same time, you don't feel like people appreciate things more when they actually work hard for it versus being handed the opportunities? You don't think that going and getting, like, being an assistant and being a like bottom assistant, going to get coffee, going to, like, you don't think you appreciate the opportunity when you get it?
To get coffee?
No, you appreciate when you make it to the top because you worked from the bottom to get there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something there. And then what do you think she's going to do when she gets to the top? She's going to treat the people at the bottom the same way. And then they're going to get to the top.
But if I have an assistant and I go to get my own coffee rather than make them get my coffee, No,
they got to get to coffee.
See? That's the problem. What makes me more successful as a person, if I make somebody get my coffee or if I don't make them get my coffee?
Well, you're helping them.
How am I helping them?
You're building their character.
Okay.
Like, I used to, when I was at Rose, the chef would make us cut crostinis by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And we would cut all these little thin pieces of bread and thousands of them per day. Mm-hmm. And we're like looking at the slicer. Like, why can't we use that slicer? It would be so easy. This will take 10 minutes versus 2 hours. And he's like, nope, it builds character.
Right.
Why is he doing this to us?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
And do you think that it built character in you?
It helped my knife skills for sure.
Is that character?
It built character as a chef,
mm-hmm.
for sure. Like doing quenelles of tartare, thousands and thousands of them. Now I can do a quenelle easily.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it did build some character.
Well, you're talking about skills though. That's not really character.
Yeah. Okay. And character.
Okay.
It teaches you to push through things and not just be like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. Like, if you want to get to the top, you have to do this. You got to do this. I used to come into work early, leave late, no problem. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Now I get to take a break. You don't think so?
And the person below you should not get a break.
No.
Right. I don't know. I think it's kind of flawed there.
I think that
I think you believe.
I agree with you that it's flawed, but that's just what it is. It's not changing because I say so. Like we have our good friend Haley. Haley sees the flaws in the culinary industry, and she's like, "Fuck that shit." And it's like, Haley, sometimes you just got to deal with it, and it sucks because she's right. Everything she says is right, but people don't look at it like that. It's still that old system when it comes to the work environment.
Sure.
So I'm not changing that.
Okay. Carmen's not going on a crusade to change the bullying.
No.
The hazing.
No.
This is the worst platform I've ever heard in my life.
I know.
Keep it the same.
You make it
keep
sound,
it the same.
Make it sound really bad when you say it out loud.
No breaks.
No.
Carmen deserves the smoke.
I don't take breaks. You learn how to sneak outside when you need to.
Okay. Take a little break?
Yeah, about 5 minutes. But I'm not taking breaks. I work my ass off.
Okay.
So the tourist has gone crazy. Our town is littered with people right now.
It's been a pretty... we've talked about them a few times now, the tourists. And they have full force. They're here. And I don't know if it's any worse than it was the years before. You know?
I think maybe just because coming off the pandemic.
Coming off the pandemic, I think that because we had no tourist season last year.
I know, just no people walking around to...
Because, you know, whenever the crews would come, like, Commercial Street would just be flooded with people.
Yeah.
You couldn't even walk down the street. But now we live in an area where they're building up breweries and they're building up other places like that. And the place where we live is now populated with more tourists, where we were in kind of like a little like cubby hole.
Yeah,
you know?
where they wouldn't even come up this far.
Right. They wouldn't come, there'd be no reason to. Right. But like now there's reasons. Downtown, there's multiple reasons.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think that's what it is.
Because we went to our, which we talk about all the time, our favorite watering hole, the Snug, recently. And it was so many people in there. It was just packed out. And then we ran into this group of young children that was there.
Young women, Carmen.
Young women that were there. Probably all of them just turned 21. And what they do, they bring beer in the bar that's not from the bar.
First off, a girl, a woman, she taps me on the shoulder, right? And she was like, "Excuse me." I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" And she was like, "Whenever you got here, did they give you like a menu or?"
That's how you know they're young.
And this is a place that it's strictly drinks. They don't have any food.
BYOB.
Yeah, BYOB. They've got a little
BYOF, sorry.
Yeah, BYOF, yeah. They have a little tiny chalkboard that has two wines, one that's red, one that's white, you know, and then like 5 different like draft beers that they have. And that's it.
But I mean, like they have the ingredients. You just have to ask for what you want.
You can look up there and they don't have cream. There's no milk, no cream. So if you want a if you want a white Russian, you can't get it there, right?
No.
So you it's pretty bare bones place, but I mean it's nice in there. It's beautiful.
But that's the thing it's bare bones for like the younger person.
For the younger crowd,
partying.
Yeah.
But for the locals that come there that already know what they drink, like these people drink the same thing every time.
I'm gonna go there on a happy hour that ends, you know, whenever it ends, and I'm gonna have a PBR for under $5. Right. You don't get that too many other places.
Yeah. I agree. But these young girls came in and they was giving a bartender a run from his money. For his money, they was...
Run from his money. He said, no, I don't want you customers anymore. I'm running from this money.
I think that is literally the same thing. It was 8 of them. They did 8 shots at one time.
Like, can I get 8 Washington apples, please?
And he got a whole bar full, and then they come back and they get another shot.
It was the 4th of July, I believe.
Yeah, it was the 4th of July.
So, yeah.
No, I just think that's funny though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they were tourists or not.
Yeah,
they were. Were they?
Mm-hmm. They were from Miami.
And the funny part was they brought their own beer into the bar, but that's what young kids do. They bring their own shit.
Yeah, and they were like, you can't take that. You can't take that in here. Got to get out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. Young kids do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's expensive. They don't have the money to pay all this money for.
Right.
Yeah, 16 shots between them. Mm-hmm. That shit costs money.
It does.
So, I bring my own beer, sip on this in the corner. Perfect. And we've all done it.
I never have.
Yeah, right.
I never snuck anything into a place.
No, I've never snuck anything into a place, but I've pregame before.
Sure.
I mean, that's kind of not the same, but that's what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to pay a little bit of money to get drunk instead of paying that amount that they had to pay. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I like seeing a younger crowd out doing little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, I'm about to go in this bathroom. I'm about to fuck this bathroom up, and then these kids are going to judge me.
Right. It's like, oh, my God, I can't believe that woman used the bathroom like that.
Oh, my God, she just shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus, don't tell nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. I wish they had a different type of... I think they do, actually. I saw somebody wearing it. The shirt that's on the hoodie.
The shirt that's on the hoodie?
The picture that's on the hoodie.
What about it?
Like, I have a Snug shirt that just say Snug, but then they have the little brand, the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I want a shirt like that.
I have one.
I know you have a hoodie like that, right?
Right.
Not a shirt.
Yeah, they've got shirts there, too.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is ask.
Those shirts. We just recently went to Spencer's and got me another one of the cool shirts I get. You know what the name of those shirts are?
Stephen Rhodes. There are a bunch of shirts that he's an artist that makes shirts that look like old babysitter books.
Yeah.
The babysitter series. What are they called?
I think that's it.
I don't know. And just like old blah 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 like the old like a choose your own adventure cover.
Yeah.
But it's like
darker.
your first seance.
Yeah.
You know, or like Tommy's possessed, you know.
Or it's like
my first knife fight.
Or it's like a guy, it's a kid in a shark's mouth, and it's like things do get better, or like some weird saying like that. But it's I like the brand, I like the pictures and everything. It's a pretty cool shirt, and the material is not too bad.
Okay, and you got a new one. What about it?
Nothing. That's it.
Okay, cool.
I don't have nothing else on that. I think that they shirts are really cool. So I've been in school lately and having a difficult time with this discussion board I was telling you about.
You're doing all online classes right now, which you don't like to begin with.
Right.
You'd rather be in the class.
Yeah.
Playing on your phone.
Don't say it like that.
No?
No.
Oh. You'd rather be in class with your phone in your pocket and paying attention to the teacher.
Yeah.
And having group discussions rather than now you have discussions in a chat room, basically.
I have discussions in the chat room, and they have spread it out to where you have to post multiple times per week in order to get class participation.
Right.
So what I'm thinking is the teachers had a little powwow, and they were like, okay, since we're primarily online, we have to figure out a way for kids to participate in class.
Right.
So make them post multiple times instead of turning all your work in at one time. So yeah, it's interesting. I got a macro class, and we talk about
macroeconomics.
Yeah, we talk about all these different trading ideas, and I think the last one was gross domestic product and how consumers buy product and all this stuff. And then
the GDP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this kid went on my page and he said, well, if you was going to change the world and such, how would you cut down on gross domestic product in a recession and blah. And he asking these questions. And then he added the class on the question, which I thought was very rude. He tried to tell on me that he didn't think my answer was good.
Right.
Fuck off, dude.
He didn't like it.
No, but then I looked up everybody else's post, and he posted on theirs too.
He's trolling the whole
He's trolling
macro
the whole
class.
damn class.
Maybe it's the teacher.
I don't think it is.
Maybe.
It could be.
You don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You're right. That's the thing. What if the teacher is on there just trolling and
He's
putting
like-
questions on
he's
there?
he's like,
That's not
this
ridiculous.
This is how I'm going to get them students. They don't have to be in class. I'm going to ask them. And then at the class, because he ats them, right? At class. So he'll comment on you, and then everybody in the class will get a notification because they've been atted. Uh-huh. Isn't there a better term for that than at?
I don't know. I don't think they
Can't we come up with something better?
They haven't yet. Haven't come up with nothing yet. So you've had the last week. I would say you worked a lot of it. You had an extra day off for the holiday, which was nice.
Yeah. I had Monday off, but I worked a little bit on Saturday because I started doing Uber Eats.
Yep.
And I'll get off of work and I'll click on the little little thing, and then they'll say, "Oh, somebody wants a Starbucks drink," and then I'll stop by Starbucks, and then I'll take it to their house, and then I'll turn off the app, and then I'll come home, and I made an extra $10-15. And then so I woke up Saturday and I was like, yeah, I'll go put on the app. I turned it on, was sitting next to a Chipotle, and go ding, ding, ding. I got 2 orders at the same time. And I was like, okay, here we go. And I got to keep those orders in check because one of them's got a Mexi Coke. Can't give the Mexi Coke to, Steve whenever John ordered it.
Yeah, John will be pissed.
Yeah, or Steve will be happy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm ordering from Uber Eats next time,
No, I think it's cool. I think the whole Uber Eats thing, especially for somebody like you who already has a full-time job, you can kind of do it at your leisure.
Well,
it's nice.
I've decided that I'm a workaholic. I can't help it. I got to be doing stuff.
Yeah.
Because I do work a full-time job. And then we do this. This is another day's work, basically. I'd say I spend doing this thing. I spend probably 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
A week. So that's a day, and then I made a day's worth of work doing the Uber Eats this week. So yeah, it's 7 days of work.
7 shifts.
I mean, I beat Cuphead. So, I mean, my time's just empty now.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you work the mornings, you get off, and especially when we were doing opposite schedules, and, like, you get off, you're just hanging out. Like, sometimes you start to look at the amount of time you have off, and you're like, I could be making some extra money.
Right.
Especially right now with as many jobs as it is out there.
That's the thing, too, is you look, I have a problem where, like, even whenever I have a job, I'll look on Indeed for other jobs.
Yeah. But I like that problem, so that's not a bad quality to have.
And I think I used to. I haven't done it yet at this job, which means I'm pretty much satisfied, I would guess. But what I tend to do is I start taking interviews and trying to work my schedule about taking these interviews of jobs that I don't actually need, but
or
I could
actually want.
But yeah, or well, I would say that I would consider everything that I applied to and went to the interview for.
Yeah.
But nothing that I actually, need because I already have one, but maybe it would be nice, and I tend to do that a lot.
Yeah.
So I haven't started doing that yet, so I guess I'm pretty satisfied with where I work. But the thing, doing the Uber Eats, it gives me something to do, and it's just extra money, and all you got to do is hit the button, and then you're at work.
No, I like that. I think that's really cool. Be able to make your own schedule, kind of do your own thing. I think I would have a bigger issue with it if you were doing like night times when like the clubs let out and then you got people getting in, fucking up your car.
But I'm not taking people.
Right, you're just doing Uber Eats. So that's perfect.
Right.
I like that. There was a story recently online and there was a kid riding his scooter doing Uber Eats.
You can do that. You can do Uber Eats on foot if it's allowed in your city.
Right.
The problem is different cities have different stipulations of what's allowed and what's not.
Right.
So yeah, you can do it on a scooter. You could do it on a bike.
This was in Detroit, and this kid had his scooter
Mm-hmm.
and his phone in his hand, and it started raining on him, and he had that food, and he was scooting around
Mm-hmm.
trying to get this food to the, like, I don't know, man. That's pretty cool. Like, I don't have nothing, but I can turn this app on my phone, and I can just, like, do it.
Right.
And he did it. And I think somebody donated money for him to get a car because they felt bad for him scootering around in the rain doing Uber Eats.
There was a guy in Detroit a few years ago who he was like walking like 10 miles both ways.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
And just to get his job.
Yeah, and he was like walking at nighttime. Like he had to start walking at night.
He had to start walking
to get there.
in the early morning to get there in the morning, and then he was walking until night to get home.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody they made like a donation thing for him.
GoFundMe thing, yeah.
Yeah, they made like a GoFundMe for him, and then they got him a nice Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
And he said that was the worst thing that ever happened in his life. You
Why?
know, because people I think they were doing stuff to his car, and then because they knew who he was because he was in the news.
Mm-hmm.
The local news, and then they're like, "Hey, that's the guy who I see walking all the time."
Car, fuck him.
Yeah, he got a free car, and then he's got like 10 grand in his pocket, and then people kept asking him for money. He said, "I wish I never got the money.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I never got the car.
Mm-hmm.
At least get me like a junker or something, you know?" Like,
Yeah. I mean, I would like to hope that he goes on and do positive things, and that did help him in some way.
Mhm.
I mean, people don't like to see that. Somebody is doing all this. They're walking all
Right.
these hours to work. Like, I don't know. I like stories like that.
Mhm.
Help them. Somebody help them.
Right.
I give them $5.
Right.
Not more than that.
Not more than 5?
Yeah, I mean, if I gave him a scratch off ticket and then like he won $25, I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah,
God
but
damn it.
then you're giving him you only buy like the $2 scratch offs. So I mean, you only gave him $2 really.
I told you what happened yesterday when I bought the scratch offs.
No.
Kirk, I went to the store. I get these scratch off tickets and a pack of cigarettes, and that's it. And I'm ringing up my order, and he says $90.
Mhm.
And he said it, and it didn't like compute. And I was like, all right. And then when I went to pay, I looked, and it said $90. I was like, why is this $90? And he was like, the scratch off tickets. You got number ones. He was like, they're 25 a piece, and this is. I was like, no, I want this one right here. And I was like, the number. And he was like, no, you said the $1 one. You got to say the number. It's number 36.
Mhm.
It's the number ones is $25 a piece. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want those.
Mhm.
And he had to void everything. He tried to charge me $90 for scratch offs.
For the things you ordered.
Right.
Right. So I don't do the scratch offs too much. I think it's kind of a waste of money.
It
But
is a waste of
when
money.
I do the scratch offs, I typically go for the $20 to $10, something more substantial because, you know, it gives you that rush.
Mm-hmm.
And multiple times I've come out with $100 ticket.
Yeah, I agree.
So I play less, probably pay more, but win more.
Right. I told Latrice that. I was like, Kirk actually be winning. Like, he win off of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But you have lost.
I have, yeah.
When you pay $25 for a ticket and lose, that is a hit.
Yeah, but if I pay $40 a year for 2 scratch offs and I win $100 on one of them, I've made $60.
It's also a game. You're supposed to have fun with it, too. It don't supposed to be all for profit. Like, I don't get it all for profit. When I win something, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I get them just to,
I get that.
yeah.
Right. But you're paying the little penny cards. You're not going to make any money.
I know.
It's just the way it is.
Shit. Latrice said she go to the red boxes, the little lottery boxes.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I always win. I'm like, I never win off of those.
Right.
I don't know. I think they're taking the tickets out, the winners out.
Maybe.
I mean, technically, look at the McDonald's scandal. Anybody can do it.
On Catalina, there's this man, Spencer Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He's an old musician man. He's a famous man, Spencer Davis. Running for Your Lovin', I think, is one of his songs. Pretty popular back in the day. And he would go to a little dive bar on Catalina, and he'd hang out. He has 2 little tiny dogs, right? And he would like play music. He's an old man. He's like 70 years old. And then like they have like a little setup for him. He's only there during like the summers. And he got a little setup, and he'll do like a half-hour like set like on like a night. I'll just come in and be like, oh, Spencer Davis. And he won in their little machine. And this is now those little lottery machines are they're like all like, it's a big giant like flat screen. And you're like, I want this, and then you put in your stuff, and then it goes, right?
Yeah.
But back then, it's just it's like a old soda machine. You got the display of what the ticket is, and you just press it, and then it comes down. And he won like $100,000.
Really?
Yeah, and everybody was like, of anybody who needed the money, he needed it. Yeah. But he probably played all the time too. He probably was in that old grocery store getting all them tickets.
I mean, it's old people here that play scratch-offs, play the lottery every single day, like in every city. It's people who play the lottery every single day, single day. And sometimes they win big. Sometimes they don't win shit.
Right.
I'm sure if you play every single day, you've had some success, but you probably spend more money than you make at that point.
Yeah.
Unless you get like hit it real big. It's like,
because think about it. You spend the money on the scratch-offs, right? You win the money on the scratch-offs. You say, you might buy more scratch-offs, but even if you don't buy scratch-offs, you say, well, this is my scratch-off money, so I can just waste it, right? It's extra money, regardless, right?
No, I don't look at it that way.
Even if you spend it on something that isn't scratch-off tickets, if it's not something you would typically buy, didn't you just kind of waste it?
Yeah, maybe the average person, yeah. For me, that's not the case.
Okay.
If I feel like I spend more than I win, so I'm just recouping the money I lost, and that's it. There's no benefit at all to it. It's not even like, if
just trying to get my way back to zero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I buy something with the scratch off money, that might as well just be my normal money. All the scratch off money is just trying to get back to zero. Yeah, I don't win very much. I get $2 here, $2 there. That's it.
And that's it.
So I had a hard time sleeping last night. How was your night's sleep?
Fine. I sleep great. As long as I can get to sleep, I sleep good.
Yeah, you'd be knocked out sometimes.
Yeah, as long as I can get there. The problem is if I don't make it to sleep, if it's too hot, and then I'm just like miserable for hours and hours, and I'm just like, if I'm just, awake, if I'm thinking about something. But if I can get to sleep, I sleep all the way through the night until I wake up, typically.
Unless I mess with you or something.
Yeah. It's not so bad now that you work days, but you used to, I'd be like almost asleep, and then you'd come in, and then you'd sit down, and then I don't know what would be worse, that you didn't talk to me or that you did talk to me.
Why?
Just because it's like because you'd be like staring at me.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, you'd just be staring at me. I was like, how was your night?
I'm just looking at you.
How was your night? And you're like, oh, it was okay. Blah, 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 blah. Then the floods were unleashed.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I know a little better now. I'm like, don't talk to him. Just close the door. Let him enjoy himself and go to sleep.
Right.
But last night, I had a nightmare. I was sleeping very good. I was sleeping on my back, and I had this dream that I was walking through the park where I go to work, and there was a dragonfly on one side and a bee on the other side. The bee got really close to my nose, and then I popped out of sleep like in a horror movie, like and you didn't even wake up. You didn't move or nothing.
Right. And then I turned around, and then I was a bee, and then you're like, oh.
No, I just literally, I woke up out of my sleep. The bee got close to my face, and I just popped up real quick, like, And then you didn't say anything.
Uh-huh.
And I looked over at you. It's like, he is not moving right now. He's asleep. And I
Right.
just turned over and I was like, I'm so glad you didn't wake up and I didn't wake you up.
Uh-huh.
I don't normally have nightmares like that, but the bugs are giving me a real big problem right now.
Right.
It's just bees everywhere.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Something you got to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, if we decide to move to Florida, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bugs there.
Mm-hmm.
I can deal with some bugs, but I feel like the bees here are larger than normal places.
No. They're just
These
normal
bees
bees.
are large.
They're just normal bees.
I feel like they're larger.
They're just not Detroit bees.
Well, those bees are smaller.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. Always running around. And then I was talking to Latrice, and she's like, man, these fucking dragonflies, they're getting out of control. And I was like, I was just running from a dragonfly. And she was like, I feel like they're getting closer.
I used to hate dragonflies
I hate 'em.
because whenever they'd fly near you, they make a weird noise.
Oh, yeah, they do.
It's not just like it's not their wings. I always thought it was like their tail was like making like noises and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Dragonflies used to freak me out.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
But they're weird. They don't fly into you. They just buzz around you. I don't know. Yeah, dragonflies are weird. And when you see one dead on the ground, it's like so large. It's like,
Right.
God damn it, dude. That thing sting you, but they don't sting or anything, I don't think.
Mm.
They're scary.
Yeah,
They have them in Florida.
of course.
So are we going to speak about this Bill Cosby situation?
What do you want to say about Bill Cosby? He's
out.
out.
Bill Cosby is out. Now, I just want to start off by saying, first off, I'm not defending Bill Cosby, and me and Kirk don't defend Bill Cosby and the things that he's done and his whole situation. But he's out.
Mm-hmm.
Because the justice system was fucked up.
Mm-hmm. I read somewhere that he has been offered many speaking engagements.
Oh, I'm sure.
And his price right now is looking to be in the tens of thousands a pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew when he got out that people were going to be all over him. And he just got home.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when he got out, he had on a gray hoodie, and then he put like this video out of him speaking about the justice system.
Did he?
And then people reposted the picture and was like, dude, that looked like a rapist hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't be wearing that, giving an apology speech for
It wasn't an apology speech.
No,
though.
he was saying that they
he never apologized because he never admitted to doing anything wrong.
he did.
Well,
That's why they got him.
but he's always maintained his innocence.
His
he has never said he did anything wrong.
Right, that's true.
That's what I'm saying.
But he has admitted to things that's wrong.
He has admitted to things that are wrong, but he has not ever admitted that he has done accepted. That's a better way to put it. But he has never accepted that he has done anything wrong.
No, what he said is it was the 70s and it was the 80s, and like
Right.
all those girls wanted to take it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know. The whole situation is all messed up. Either way, I guess the moral of the story is the justice system fucked up. You can't do that. You can't just like railroad somebody because you want to just get them so fucking bad. Like, and that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted him so bad that they fucked up, and now it's gonna be hard to prosecute him again when you guys already did all this shit.
Right.
So he's gonna be partying. He's gonna be on Sesame Street in a couple years.
No, he's not. Be on Sesame Street.
Sesame Street canceled too, ain't it?
Why?
I don't know. I thought it was over with.
No. Sesame Street be going on forever.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
I heard they did a reboot of Arthur like years ago.
Arthur with the aardvark.
Yeah, I think Latrice was like, "It's new episodes out." I'm like, "What?"
Arthur was the worst.
I loved Arthur.
We were talking about this earlier today. Not today, but this week. About how you were a PBS kid. You like all the PBS shows.
I do.
And I thought the PBS shows were just trash. They're trying to teach me things. It's like I didn't like Arthur either. You know why?
Why?
Because he was a boy with just normal problems like boys have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated it.
What do you want? What kind of problems you want him to have as a
Something
normal
better
boy?
than that. I don't need normal boy problems. I got normal boy problems. You know?
Did you have Arthur problems?
I didn't like Arthur. I didn't watch Arthur.
No, that was a good show. That was a
I
good
didn't
one.
like it.
And then what else? You said you didn't like Wishbone.
Wishbone was bad.
I didn't
Wishbone
like
was
Wishbone.
kind of cool because the dog was dressed up in costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
So Wishbone was a show of a dog, and he'd be in like classic stories. He'd be in like Robin Hood, or like what's another classic story? That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Treasure Island. And
Yeah, it's
stuff
a
like
bunch
that.
of them
Yeah.
that he would be in, but I can't think of that.
Yeah. He'd be in like
You
little
don't-
adventures, and then they
You don't
like,
use it, you
Wishbone.
lose it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And his eye was like on his eye was a dog's paw, like the pattern of a dog, right?
I think so. I don't know.
On his eye was
I
like
hated
a-
Wishbone. I hated Wishbone, Reading Rainbow. I couldn't deal with any
Mm-hmm.
of those. Those were the worst ones. And then I got into Arthur, and you said Babar was on PBS?
Babar, yeah, that sucked too. About the elephants.
Yeah.
Oh,
What was the Berenstain Bears on?
probably PBS too.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, the Berenstain Bears.
at least
Nah,
they
I-
looked cool.
I know. I think about it now, and I'm like, who drew them?
Mm-hmm.
They did a good job. They made like bears with like nice hair. Like they had little curls on there.
Yeah.
On the top of their head.
Yeah.
The Berenstain Bears.
Don't you think that the kids kind of looked like the monkey boy from Jumanji?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole
totally.
family did.
because of the noses.
Yeah,
That's why.
that might be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole family though.
Mm-hmm. Just like whenever you watched the Jim Carrey Grinch,
Mhm.
they look like the monkey boy from Jumanji.
Yeah, it's a weird way that they do the noses when it comes to like certain
Because
animated
animals
stuff.
don't have people noses,
right.
right? So they have to make them differently.
Yeah,
But the
then
only
they're
way to
drawing
do
them
it is
as
the exact same way that they
because
do it
you're
before.
drawing a bear that's talking and speaking like a person,
Right.
but then you got to make bear-like features.
Right.
Yeah,
It's impossible.
it's interesting though.
Uh-huh.
Man, I'm always intrigued by people who do animation and things like that. Like it seems so to like when you see the sketchbooks of an animator and it's like showing like every little step, detail to make this whole show possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of. I bet you they probably get the same thing I got on my wrist.
Maybe.
Just using a pencil all the time and sketching.
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah. Seeing that Disney movie Cruella, seeing those Dalmatians in that,
Yeah.
just all the dogs in general.
Dalmatians
That's a-
are not mean like that, so I didn't like that part of the
Well,
movie.
you could train a dog to do anything. Right?
No, but that was just out of character. Like Dalmatians do not behave like that. They're fire dogs and they don't act like that.
But anyways, to see those animals, it's wild to see. You're like, I can't believe that, because you know they're not real at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was like a little tiny dog, and he was like in this rat costume,
Oh yeah.
and he's walking like a dog, but in a rat costume,
Mm-hmm.
and the tail's all wiggly. It's crazy, man. I can't believe it.
I
The
mean,
things that you can see, you would have never even thought you could have seen anything like that if you were when we were kids.
yeah.
You know.
Did you watch the original 101 Dalmatians?
No, I guarantee you I've seen it, but I don't remember it
No.
at all. No,
Yeah, you didn't grow up with all the Disney movies that I grew up with. I watched
I feel
everything.
like, well, you had brothers and sisters.
I mean,
so-
it's an easy way for a parent to be like, just go
Right.
shut up and watch a movie.
Right.
Like, I need time. Go shut up. Y'all, here's a nice movie. You guys pick out a movie.
Yeah.
Bam. Got 2 hours.
I certainly saw my share of the Disney stuff, but I
Yeah.
don't think I didn't have, brothers and sisters to say, oh, hey, let's watch a Disney movie.
Or
with."
people who had,
Yeah.
or brothers and sisters that had their own opinions on movies and like,
Right.
I like this one. I like this
Yeah,
one. I like this one.
yeah.
And then you have to come to an agreement on one.
Right. Well, maybe we'll just watch this one because we both kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were talking about we were just watching Fear Street.
Yeah.
I don't think too many people. I haven't heard anybody mentioning anything
Oh
about it.
man! So Netflix, they just put out this new. It's going to be a trilogy of movies. Each one's coming out this week. I think every Friday they're coming out with a new part. It's 3-parter, and it's Fear Street. So R.L. Stein, who wrote the Bumps movies, what?
The Goosebumps.
The What did I say? Ghostbumps.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. And then like during the 90s, whenever he was big, he was also writing these other series of books that were for people just a little bit older called Fear Street.
Yeah, because Goosebumps was probably 10 to 13, or maybe 8 to 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And so the Fear Street was a little bit more adult and different stuff happened. Well, Netflix is just putting out these 3 movies, right? Mm-hmm. And they're Fear Street movies, and they are exactly like, I know we were watching it, and there was some stuff in there that like I don't think it's based off of any of the Fear Street books. It might be, but I don't know if it is. Right?
I'm not sure if it is. I didn't watch Fear Street, but it looks like a R.L. Stein book coming to life.
It looks like, it's cool because it looks like a Goosebumps, but made for older people.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because they show death and they show like all these things. So I would say
there's some stuff with the bread slicers. Ugh.
But I'm not sure if they showed that in the original Fear Street. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that graphic.
No, I don't think that they was a Fear Street show.
Right.
It was a book series.
Book series, gotcha.
Right.
Well, that's even cooler then. Now they're showing you a visual of it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. We would have to look it up. I'm pretty sure if it was a book series and then now it's like this, I'm pretty sure the people who are really into the books, they're like, that's not right. That shouldn't be like that. I'm sure it's a bunch of forums that's saying like either it was similar or it's not, or oh my God, they got this.
I like
up.
what they did there, but I didn't like that.
It was, yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch of forums that like breaks all that down.
Yeah, we got Netflix heavy.
Yeah.
Fear Street, Part 1, 1994. It is the complete title. I'd say phones down. I say it was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I agree.
And I can't wait to watch the next one. But, if the next one's not that good, I probably won't watch the third one. But maybe I will. It's Netflix.
No, we kind of have to. Because you can't get 2/3 of the way through. Now you got to see what happens at the end.
I got to see what happens at the end, right? But, but it's also so disposable. That's the thing, too, is it's so disposable because it's on Netflix. I find myself whenever, like, a show like Netflix has things that it throws out, and it's something that I would watch. I don't watch it because I'll be like, well, it's a Netflix show, so I'll just watch something else that they might lose on Netflix. Right,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
No, I definitely get that. So have you watched any podcasts lately? Anything new? I saw Tom Segura on the Whitney. What's her name?
Good for you, Whitney Cummings.
Whitney Cummings. Yeah, I saw him on Whitney Cummings' podcast. I really liked it. They're a good duo together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Tom Segura is good with just about anybody, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I feel like he's good with conversation, so they had a good back and forth. It depends on who she's on there with. If she's on there with Tim Dillon, they're just going back and forth like friends the whole time. Right. He's like, yeah, and I told this bitch that she should do this and do this, and like they're just going back and forth.
Tim Dillon's like her gay best friend.
Right. So it's just a different. But I like him on there as well. It just depends on who she has on there. When she was on Joe Rogan's show, she just talked about how much she liked to save the animals.
Right.
So it just depends.
Because there were fires in California, and she was like, oh, I got to just save the turtles. Yeah. There's imagery of whenever the fires were going on, and there's a turtle running away from the fire. And she's like, get him in my animal. I would need to save that turtle. Yeah, you have to realize Tom Segura, he's been doing podcasts for 10 years. He was one of the first people.
He's good at it. He's mild-tempered, and so I don't know. I really like that. But that's it. That's all you got.
No. I left my papers over there.
Go get them.
No, I don't need to. We've started watching a show on Netflix called Sweet Tooth. And so it's about this sickness that happens, and then there's these hybrid children.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's in like a post-apocalyptic thing, right?
Yeah.
And there's
the sickness caused the apocalypse.
Caused an apocalypse, and a lot of people they died, and then a lot of people were mean towards these hybrid people because they think that the hybrid people caused the
hybrid
sickness.
Children caused the sickness. Yeah.
Right.
Because it was children, babies.
Right. Yeah, babies. Yeah. That came out with animal parts, and so if we lived in a time where basically everything was like a loose structure, do you think you and I would be able to live and farm and survive if we lived in a cabin somewhere?
In that situation to where you scared to not get caught and all that.
No, just in general.
In general, do you think we would be able to live and farm and live
think
in a
about
cabin?
it. Okay, so basically,
We spoiled Americans at this point.
but think about it. So, okay, you live in a place where we could grow things,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
But then there's people that can't grow things.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to want your things.
Right.
What are you going to do about it?
You gonna do it?
Oh, I have to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm scared of the bees. I can't do nothing. What you want me to do?
You can't stop the people if you can't stop the bees,
No,
right?
you at that point you have to have guns because you're not about to be bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Right.
So you have to have protection for
I have
yourself.
to be a gunman.
If you're living in an environment where you are where it's desperation involved, where you're growing food to survive, and then there's people out there trying to take your survival.
Right.
Yeah, you have to use brute force.
How long do you think we would make it in such a scenario?
I think that we would survive.
You think so?
Yeah, we adapt quick. I think you'd be surprised how fast a person can adapt. Some
But-
people can.
But we would have to, I don't know, you're a pretty social person.
So what?
I think-
we gotta survive. It ain't no social.
I don't know. I think you'd be like, oh man, I think you'd be.
Kirk, during the pandemic, I stayed at home.
I know, but we lived in the city.
Yeah, but I still
We
was at
couldn't
home.
live in the city anymore.
I walked around the street. Nobody was out. I was still by myself.
They were looking at you though.
Yeah, I know. Looking out the window.
They're
Look,
hey,
she's
look,
walking
there
down the
she
street.
goes.
That's funny.
I think we'd be all right too.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'd have to get a propane. You know.
Where are you getting propane?
Well, I mean,
Where are you getting the seeds for the food?
You get them
are
from
all-
the seed store.
No, the stores ain't open.
Well, you break in and take it. There's gonna be
It's gonna be a portion of that where you're gonna have to take to survive.
We're gonna
too.
have to do some petty theft.
Yeah.
But I think overall we could be good-willed people. You know.
Yeah, but Kirk, you are not okay with petty theft and doing
we'd have to-
breaking into a store.
We-
Kirk breaking into a store and taking seeds to grow a plant.
All right.
Oh my God, that would be horrible.
All I got were the jalapenos. I'd be the last one to go in there. I'd be like, all I got is the jalapenos. So, yeah.
Okay.
Ah, man.
So we got like
But then we wouldn't have any toilet
300
paper.
jalapeno plants. Oh no, I think
How would
you
we
deal
make
with.
toilet paper?
I'll figure that out.
Yeah?
I can figure that part out.
You're the toilet paper girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just not defending the household.
Uh-huh.
No,
No.
but we're gonna build a hiding spot to where we can hide.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta get creative.
Uh-huh.
If you're not doing shit all day, the only thing you got to do is grow food and get creative.
Right.
Make sure you got shelter. We learned that from Naked and Afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you got shelter.
You gotta
and
have the
water.
shelter.
Yeah,
Oh, man. Need a shelter.
you love that show.
Ah, man, I miss old Naked and Afraid. I watched it all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could still watch some Naked and Afraid, but the Naked and Afraid XL kind of spoiled me
Yeah,
because I love seeing the group dynamic of it.
yeah.
But one of the funniest things on that show was on Naked and Afraid whenever there were tigers outside of one of their camps.
Mm-hmm.
And all the producers had to go into the boma, which is just a bunch of where you put like a bunch of like dead like shrubs and stuff around you.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it's supposed to be like 8 feet wide, so they can't jump into your place, and it's supposed to have like a bunch of thorns on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the producers and everybody were in these people's boma because they were unprotected. The Naked and Afraid people
We're unprotected.
protected the producers and the filmers and all the people. So there were like
are
20
you saying
people.
every season they have a boma?
Yeah. Well,
Like
they make
at-
it.
At
They have
every
to make
camp.
it.
Right.
Not always. I mean, there were people living in caves in one of them, you know?
Yeah.
So it depends what's around.
Yeah.
If you don't have the type of
Dude,
creatures.
and that'd have been my last day. So you got these people here that's not protecting us, and we got hell no.
Yeah.
So we all about to die?
Yeah.
Nope, I'm going home.
I'm naked and you're going to live in my shelter?
Yeah, hell
Yeah,
no.
right.
That's the end of this.
Yeah. All right. We done?
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Sweet Gravy Podcast. If you have any questions, please go to sweetgravypod@gmail.com. Also, check us out on YouTube and every other streaming platform. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.